I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Stretch on my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. What's a family? You do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the option. Woo! Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here. Woo!
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Nashville. We have Cory Sandhagen going against Rob Font. We have a 12-fight card. We have a great panel for this week as well. Really looking forward to. We got Weezy in the building, Narco in the building. We'll kick it to you first, Weezy. Are you looking forward to a stacked UFC Nashville card?
Yeah, great card from a fan perspective. I've got some bets spread out throughout the card, but unfortunately, my night does come down to one guy getting it done. So I'll let you know who that is. I'm a little bit nervous, but that's what we do. We bet, we put it in the hands of the fighters, and hopefully they do what we think we're going to do. Let's stack them high, you guys. I'm ready to cash some tickets today. Let's do it. Can't wait to talk about that fight. We got Narco in the building. Narco, what is up? You looking forward to some fights?
Always looking forward to fights, my man Brady. What's up to Uncle Weezy and all the chat? Yeah, man, looking forward to this card. So fight night card. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's very good. But there's some interesting matchups here, man. Some very interesting matchups. I have a lot of bets, actually. A lot of prop bets, to be honest, on this card.
Yeah, I feel that I don't have, I think, any money line bets this week. Lots of props for me. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel, go subscribe to Uncle Weezy and Narco Cop. Their links are in the description. Also in the description, you will find the rules for Best Bet if you are new. You'll find the current standings. Right now, Narco Cop is in third place behind Lou and Blood Money. I had a 15-unit night last week for Best Bet, getting myself back into the top 5 here. So, I think we are a little bit over halfway in terms of the competition. We got Lou still hanging on to first place. We'll see where this thing all shakes out. I do want to shout out the chat before we get started. We got Grady in the chat. I don't
say the last name.
I'm not. Javier, we got MMA Goulash. Some people with these names, man. We got Bailey, we got my guy Bill, we got Jake, we got Professor Chaos, we got Sean in the chat, we got Chris, Forrest Daniels, who else? We got Ver Hoofty, Floofin, we got Shootproof, we got Goulash in the chat, we got Capone, we got T Fades, we got Sneak Attack Zach. I see a lot of like new names in here. We got Low Eyes Jay, we got Bailey, we got Ski Wishy, we got Dipset, we got Ace Money, we got Joe the Beast, we got Mark. What is up, everybody? And we did get a dono in here. We got my guy Thomas with the 199 saying, give us some heaters. That is always the goal. Thank you, Thomas, for hanging out, and thank you for the super chat there. All right, guys, I say we get into it. We're going to start with the first fight on the card. And by the way, 10 bets for this show. There are 12 fights, so each of these guys are going to get 2 passes. So don't freak out if these guys pass on a fight. It's literally part of the competition. Like there's this one guy a couple weeks ago who was just crying that, there was a pass or 2 on the card. So there will be a pass or 2 on the card. But we're going to kick it off with Ode Osborne going against Asu Almabayev. Right now we have Almabayev sitting at minus 190, Ode Osborne plus 165. It looks like Almabayev took some steam earlier in the week, and the line hasn't really moved much since then. We'll kick it to you first, Weezy. What is your best bet for the first fight on the card?
Yeah, I'll give you the first leg of the greasy 4-leg parlay that I gave out on my channel earlier this week, and that's Almabayev's money line here at minus 190. Almabayev wrestles a lot, and when you watch the regional scene footage, that's what this guy is, going to do. It's how he's going to win minutes. And I just, we don't know a lot about how Ode Osborne reacts to wrestling because he's only had 7 takedowns shot on him in 7 UFC fights, but one of the people that did take him down was Brian Kelleher. Got him down immediately, made it look easy, and then finished him with a guillotine choke. So if Ode is not reacting to offensive wrestling any better than he did in his UFC debut, I think Almabayev actually makes this one look easy. So that's the first leg of the greasy four-legger. I'm just going with his money line, not trying to get cheeky here because we don't know much about the guy. But he's 17-2, good prospect, good wrestler, and I think he gets it done.
All right, Uncle Weezy taking the Asu Almabayev money line -190. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I like the Almabayev side quite a bit here, and similar to what Uncle Weezy said, the one guy that tried to grapple Osborne really was Kelleher. Like one attempt, I think it was a single leg. He took him down. He submitted him thereafter. Almabayev, not really a great ground and pound, not really a great jiu-jitsu guy, but a very good wrestler and relentless wrestler. I mean, I like the wrestling. I like the cardio on this guy. I don't like the cardio on Osborne at all. He's going to be in a high-paced fight here, a lot of grappling, which he's not accustomed to. And normally this guy gasses without any grappling. So, here with a lot of grappling, I'm going to go with submission 2-3 on FanDuel, man. It's plus 650. I really like Almabayev to break him eventually here. The only thing I'm afraid of is if it's like a ground and pound KO and not a submission. But I think more than likely it might be a submission and not a ground and pound. So we'll see. But I like 2-3 sub at plus 650.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that the sub prop in general at like plus 300 was kind of wild there. Ode has been subbed twice for what it's worth. Sean is on the Ode side. This wrestler looks fraudulent. He looks legit to me. I don't know what you're seeing, Sean, but this is going to be a good test here in the UFC. I went an Ode chant. I don't know if any of us are going to be chanting for Ode, but maybe Sean will start the chant for you there. Chat saying Ode is being slept on. I mean, potentially. I don't know. Ode gets finished early as kicks good. I don't see Ode getting taken down, honestly. I mean, his take on defense is horrible. I mean, it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, inside the UFC, nobody's really tried to take him down, but outside the UFC, this guy's folding like a lawn chair. So we'll see what happens here. And then he's kicks in. I see Ode getting subbed or taken down for 2 rounds. It's kind of what I see as well. And then J-Bone on the Ode side. It's a lot on the Ode side, apparently, but this line is not really indicating that. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll move to the next fight. We got Sean Woodson going against Dennis Bazooka. We got Sean Woodson currently sitting at -178. Dennis Bazooka sitting at +153. Yeah, so Sean Woodson was sitting at +110 for a second. I know a couple people. I know Gordo got in on that +110. I think Couch Warrior did as well, so shout out to them. But now this line has moved all the way to -178. I don't have a ton of interest in this fight. I'm curious to see if you guys do. I'll kick it to Narco. What do you like for this fight here?
This fight is a pass for me, my friend. I don't trust Woodson. I don't trust short notice Bazooka. Bazooka seems durable, but we don't know, like 24 pounds in whatever amount of days, 2-3 days. This is the one I'm passing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would pass on this one as well. Weezy, you find anything for this one?
I'm going with the Woodson money line because it's so short notice for Bazooka. He had to, cut a lot of weight in a short amount of time here. And, and Woodson's just a kind of a difficult opponent. If you didn't get to really train for him, you don't get to see 6'3" guys in the gym when you're a featherweight. It's just not something that you're used to doing, and certainly not one with the speed of Woodson. So I'm just going to play it real safe here, Brady. Go with the Sean Woodson money line. I saw -175 on Betway, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with here. Just to play it nice and safe, try to get a win here, and we'll see what Bazooka has got for him, though, on short notice. If he winds up getting a win here, that'll be a nice feather in his cap.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy in Bazooka who probably should have been in the UFC already, but yeah, I agree. This is kind of a tough matchup for him on short notice here. Let's see. WW say Woodson is decent, but Bazooka by KO or sub and sub rare naked choke. We got Kick saying Woodson is way overpriced. No thanks. Yeah, I don't have anything on this one here. Definitely fading Woodson Bazooka by decision. Over 1.5. It says all shucks. That's like -275. So I mean, maybe a parlay piece, but I don't know. And FanDuel still doesn't have props for this fight. Like, what are they doing? I mean, the fight started in like an hour and a half, so I don't know what.
Yeah, they're not great in terms of getting them out on time. So whenever there's a late replacement, it makes it difficult for them.
Bazooka inside the distance, decision, no action, that finish only. I'm not sure what that is, but any thoughts on that, guys?
I think he probably does need a finish here, making that really bad cut. We saw him behind the box of shame. Did he make weight, or did he finish cutting a half pound?
They didn't let him cut it.
He missed by half a pound. Yeah, they didn't let him.
Yeah, so I mean, like, maybe he kind of comes out blasting like Yosemite Sam and just tries to get this dude out of here, knowing that I really don't want to try to go 15 minutes, after that cut. So we'll see, man. It's one of those ones I tried to fade the fight and just not do it, but then there were a couple other fights where I was like, nah, I'd really rather fade these and just take the Woodson money line.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next fight, which I think is a very fun one here. These next couple of fights, man. We got Jake Hadley going against Cody Durden. We got Jake Hadley currently sitting at minus 202. We got Cody Durden sitting at plus 172. Let's kick it to Narco. What do you like in this fight here?
Yeah, I've been repeating the same thing over and over again. People might think I'm crazy, but Jake Hadley is one of my favorite prospects, honestly, at 125, man. Very good boxing. Very good jiu-jitsu, very good cardio, good durability. I think he has it all, to be honest. The only thing I would say he needs to work on is, wrestling, right? Takedown defense. But, man, outside of that, what does this guy do bad? Like, his jiu-jitsu, his submission game is really damn good. When you're putting Nascimento in bad spots and that guy's an ace on the ground, your jiu-jitsu is pretty damn fucking good. And he actually reversed Nascimento 2 different times in that fight from bottom. Like, that's pretty fucking hard to do. And Nascimento is a monster at 125. I mean, the guy is huge. So, the boxing is really good. The body work is really good. Just, man, this is a bad fight for Cody Durden, man. I'm going to take Hadley, ITD, plus 120. Really like that. I think he finishes here, whether it be on the ground, whether it be standing, I don't know. But he's stopping Durden one way or another, in my opinion.
Yep, Jake Hadley inside the distance, plus 120 for Narco. Wheezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Narco said, but I just hate the prices on this fight. I think Hadley's phenomenal, but minus 200-ish for Hadley was just too much for me, and then plus 110, 120 for inside the distance was too much for me, but it's not that expensive that I'm saying to myself, oh, I'm going over to the Durden side and playing that because I don't like him here. I'm just going to pass on this one. I think Hadley gets the job done. I just hate the prices.
All right, passing on the Jake Hadley fight for Wheezy. So each of these guys do have one pass left here. Kicks Good saying Hadley by finish. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Durden shoots a takedown and Hadley takes a neck. Yeah, I could see like a sub or even a body shot KO, I think, is in play. Durden ain't getting guillotined. I mean, it's in play. Omoplata could be in play. Hadley by sub. I see a Hadley KO. Yeah, I could see it. I could see a Hadley KO. Narco, you lean KO or sub or?
I kind of lean KO because I think like he's going to threaten the submissions and make Cody so uncomfortable on the ground that he's going to need to stand. And I think once he stands, I think he's going to probably knock him out. I mean, body shot knockout is honestly very live as well. And to be fair, Cody Durden gasses and Hadley's going to make him work. It's not going to be like the Charles Johnson fight where he's going to backpack Hadley. So like he's going to make him work. And historically, like Durden has gassed like in round 3. And man, this is short notice too. Like, and this guy works the body better than almost any 125er. So I don't know. Bad matchup for me.
No, yeah, I agree with you. We got Gremlin saying sub 2. Bag like and strong on White Kong. And then Jablin saying Narco shot with the body shot take. Yeah, the guy mixes it up very, very well to the body. All right, let's move on to my favorite fight of the card and a fight that should be very, very fun. I'm still not sure why it's on the prelims. I thought that they would maybe, take the Bozer Kamer fight and potentially switch these two, but that is not the case. But we have Billy Quarantillo going against Damon Jackson. This line has not really moved much throughout the week. We got Billy Quarantillo currently sitting at minus 160. Damon Jackson sitting at plus 140. We'll start with you, Uncle Weezy. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, there's been some money coming in today on Damon Jackson. I actually parlayed Billy Quarantillo earlier in the week with somebody else that we'll talk about later. But my best bet for this fight doesn't go to decision at -1. What do I got here? -188 on Betway, I think I saw. But whatever the best price is now, I could see Damon Jackson getting a submission early in this fight. Billy Quarantillo does not have good takedown defense. And if you get taken down by Damon Jackson, you're going to have to be very, very careful because he's a very aggressive and tricky submission grappler. But, I think as this fight goes on and it becomes more and more tiring to wrestle, that's when you're going to see Billy try to break Damon Jackson and probably get it done round 2, round 3 KO for Billy Quarantillo. I think are great looks this week. But I like fight doesn't go to decision. It's a pretty conservative bet. But I think both of these guys are great finishers, and Damon Jackson's been finishing 100% of his career losses. So I definitely love fight doesn't go here.
Yeah, I got -180 for you on Bet365. So
that's a nice price.
There you go. I like it. Narco, what do you like it for this fight here?
I kind of agree with Uncle Weezy, but I'm going a little differently. I'm going the over 1.5 at -160. I think it's on DK. Yeah, I think so. I agree with basically what Uncle Weezy said. I just, I know Damon Jackson's grappling is pretty good. His submission game, I just don't think he's going to submit Quarantillo. He's pretty good as far as defensively speaking there on the grappling. And the thing with Billy Q is I do believe he's going to break him. I just don't think it's going to be under the 1.5 minute mark. So that's why I'm going with that. I'm going -160 over 1.5. I think this fight probably drags out into the end of, towards the end of round 2 and early round 3. But I think I pretty much agree with Uncle Weezy. I think Quarantillo pretty much breaks him. And Damon Jackson, he's coming off a partially torn pec muscle he was talking about. He fought with it in his last fight, which is very perplexing. So I don't know. He says it's 100% healed, but it's not an easy injury.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those spots where you guys both could hit your spots. I feel like it could go over and then it finish in the later half of the fight. You said -160, right, Narco? All right.
Yeah, on DK.
There we go. All right. Sean says Damon Jackson's a savage. He is, but man, so is Billy Q. I mean, this is going to be an absolute
fight.
Yeah, it's an amazing fight.
Yeah.
This is a banger. I agree. Jackson inside the distance. Joseph saying I've got Billy Q TKO. It's kind of where I'm leaning as well. Billy Q KO. Look saying the fight doesn't go. Leaning at Damon, didn't like how Billy looked. I mean, it's a completely different matchup though. I mean, Damon Jackson is definitely not Edson Barbosa. I feel like Jackson's chin is sus. I agree with that statement. What is up, Stack? How you doing? Under 2.5 rounds kind of looks safe for -155. I would go with the extra 2.5 minutes because Billy Q, I think he finished Gabriel Benitez in like the last 2.5 minutes in that fight, but breaks him down.
Brady, guys that put paces on like Quarantillo, you want to give them the full 15 just in case Jackson's getting takedowns because it's just a matter of time before he breaks you.
Yeah, like Narco was saying, maybe it was because of the pec, but he went out there against Sandhagen and didn't really try to wrestle as much as I thought he would. If he tries it against Billy Q, he's probably getting knocked out for sure. Billy Q is usually a bounce back king after losses. I hope so. I'm a big Billy Q fan. And is Uncle Weezy's mic backwards? I don't.
Is it, dude? Is it you or is it your mic that's backwards?
I don't know.
Because we got the same mic, but mine is facing the opposite way as yours. So one of us is definitely wrong.
Shout out to Z. Z told me this is the way it's supposed to go. So I don't know if Z is right or wrong. So
let me see here. Yeah, well, I know Z always said back in the day that I needed to get my mic sorted out, and he was always right about that. So I don't know. Does this sound better right now?
It does.
It does?
Yeah.
It does, Narco. I've been doing it like this for a fucking year now. Come on, man. Thank you, Carson Timberlake. Much love. Maybe now I can get my podcasting career started.
This is the highlight of this show. Uncle Weezy fixes his mic after 1 year.
Congratulations, Weezy, on the mic. I never even noticed. Like, I'm shocked I haven't noticed. I've only done like a million shows with you.
All I did is see buttons on both of them. So I didn't pay attention that Uncle Weezy said, I think 3 buttons there, right?
Yeah. I had the logo side out, but I thought that's what I was supposed to. Oh my God, is that hilarious?
You sound like crazy good.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Oh, come on, man. I can't believe that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so glad we got it all sorted out. Only a year late, but we got it done nonetheless. All right, let's move on to the next fight, which is another banger. Like, this fight's really on the prelims. Are you kidding me? Carlston Harris going against Jeremiah Wells. We have a ton of line movement here. We have Jeremiah Wells currently sitting at -115 after opening at -210. We have Carlston Harris currently sitting at +180. And he's currently sitting at -105. So there's some feedback. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear what you guys had to say for this one. A fight that should be very, very fun. We'll kick it to Narco. What are you liking for this one here?
Violence. I like violence in this fight. These two guys are, man, I'll be surprised. I mean, this is a car crash for me. Both guys are extremely explosive. Both guys leave their chins out there to be cracked. Both guys are very wild on the feet. And both guys hit very hard on the feet. So I get that there might be some grappling, but, you know, Carlston Harris is very, very wiry, strong type of guy. You know, we saw against Rakhmonov, he had a lot of trouble trying to take this dude down. And you know, I know Jeremiah Wells is extremely strong and powerful, but I think even if he takes a guy like Harris down, like Harris can threaten him with some submissions and maybe make this fight stand up. But I just think one of these guys is going to get knocked out, to be honest, on the feet. Like, Wells always starts out banging on the feet. And I honestly feel like this might be one of those like under a minute type of fights where somebody just kills one another in the first minute.
So what was your best bet? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Under 1.5. Under 1.5.
Okay.
It's on Caesars at +115. Yeah,
right.
Under 1.5. And that line is kind of off market. Like the market, you could see it's +105. I'm looking at others where it's, you know, a lot less than that. There's even minus numbers out there, and Caesars has +115 hanging there. So I think that's a good line, honestly.
Yep, I agree. I think that line makes a lot of sense. Wheezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, the exact same thing. I have the under 1.5 rounds here as the third leg of the greasy 4-legger. The second leg was the Corralillo Jackson fight doesn't go to decision. Leg one, the Asu Almabayev money line. So yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that that Narco Cop just said. This is going to be like two rats in a shoe just going at it. They both got power. They're both kind of chinny too, even though Wells has never been finished in his career. You could see he got dropped every time Semmelsberger hit him. So, you know, and his dude, Wells hits really hard, but God, is his boxing bad. I mean, like, he throws everything from the hip. He's got no defense. Everything is just trying to club your head into the upper deck. And he's successful most of the time with that way, but that is also something that Carlston might be able to take advantage of. So yeah, under 1.5, even fight doesn't start round 2 at like +180. If you want to get really cheeky, I think that's a great way to play it as well. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the under 1.5, same as Narco Cop.
Yep, looks like we're all three on that under. I think it's a great look. I know a lot of people on the under 2.5 as well, but I think if there's a finish, it probably does end early. I think it's going to be a car crash there. 3J agreeing inside the distance is definitely the play. Blom saying I'm big on Jeremiah. Surprised all the love for Carlston, and now I'm scared. Yeah, I mean, money's just been pouring in on Carlston Harris this week. I don't have a strong lean one way or another in terms of who wins this fight. My strong lean is they're going to hit each other in the face with little to no defense is my strong lean. Two rats in a shoe. I love that. I love that.
Dude, have you ever seen two rats in a shoe fighting? It is like, that'll be like the next thing after the UFC. It's just going to be called two rats in a shoe. It's going to be like that Russian phone booth fighting. I predict it's the next big thing.
Dude, I would love to watch something like that. Harris throws a bit wide. They're both very, very wild, defensively open to be hit. That's why I kind of like I like violence here. We got my guy Max Brent with the donation here, 6,000. Weezy, what is CRC? 6,
Costa Rican something, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll appreciate you, Max. He's saying top content every week. A toast for Uncle Weezy finally getting his mic right. Good luck, boys. Good luck to you as well, Max. Appreciate you for the donut and hanging out here with us on Saturday. Kick saying this fight will be optimal. I think so as well. I have a ton of it. Weezy sounds like Morgan Freeman right now.
Yes, sir.
There we go. I like it. Let's see what else we got here. Carlson beat Michelle Pereira.
Yeah, back in the
While
day.
ago. Yeah.
They fought on the regional scene.
And all right, I think we're Costa Rican. You're right, Wheezy. Costa Rican.
Lucky
Cologne?
guess, but I'll take it. I would not have gotten the Cologne part right, though. I would have been like Costa Rican sense.
There you go. I like it. All right. Who has more takedowns in this fight? I don't know if I see either guy having success. Any thoughts from you guys?
God, man. I mean, I could see either one. I could see either one getting takedowns because Carlston will go for them in the clinch. He'll go for trips, and that kind of stuff. And Jeremiah, if he gets stung on the feet, he'll probably shoot for a double leg.
Yeah, I agree. I lean Wells just because low center of gravity. You know, he does those power doubles. I mean, his wrestling is not like very good. It's just blast doubles. They're like he's playing football. He just gets you down. And like Harris, he does have good trips, body locks. It's just going to be harder to do against a shorter guy with a low center of gravity like Wells. So, yeah, kind of lean Wells, but I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I hope there's not much wrestling going on. I hope there's a bunch of big shots coming either way. But we can move on to the featured prelim. We have Kyler Phillips going against Hayani Barcelos. We have Kyler Phillips sitting at -193. Barcelos sitting at +168. Yeah, this is a fight that I'm kind of just staying away from. I think there's a lot of red flags on both sides. You know, if this fight was a couple years ago, I'd be probably max betting Barcelos here. It's just I think he is on a clear decline, but I don't know. Curious to hear what you guys' thoughts on this one. Kind of a weird fight. We'll kick it to you, Narco. What do you like for this one here?
How many passes do I have? 3?
You get 2 passes. You've used 1.
Yeah, this is my second pass then. Too many question marks. Like you said, one guy's coming off the Austrian suspension. The other guy looks a little shot to me. Hani Barcelos, you know, knocked out against Umar. You know, it wasn't a head kick. It was a punch. And Umar really hasn't knocked anybody out in his career, like maybe once. And it's probably off a head kick even. Like he doesn't really have a lot of power in his hands. And the way he knocked out Barcelos, I mean, he flatlined him with that left hook. And it's like, you know, this is the same guy that got hurt multiple times by Victor Henry. You know, he looked good against a guy that he could look good against. But problem is the speed advantage here, man. He might not even see these punches or kicks coming. And that's what I'm afraid of. However, I do want to say, like, if this fight hits the ground, which Phillips has literally taken down almost every one of his opponents, and I know Barcelos has like great takedown defense, but I think the speed of the entries might work here for Phillips where he gets the fight down. Barcelos extremely dangerous on the ground, man. And like, I already played the submission. I just don't understand. It's plus 1,500. Like,
wow.
Like he's the better BJJ guy. Like it's not even fucking close. So you're going to give me some stupid line like that. And I see that Phillips is like literally shooting takedowns in almost every single one of his fights. I'm going to fucking play it.
Plus 1,500 for a guy on Barcelos who's a legit black belt. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Wheezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with the Hani Barcelos money line. It was plus 180 earlier on Bet Online, but that one's moved. But whatever the best price is, you know, the thing about Phillips is he loves to spin a lot. He loves to spin a lot, and that's just fucking dumb against a grappler like Barcelos. Look, we saw Barcelos beat a very similar opponent a couple years back in Said Nurmagomedov, a guy who loves to spin. And what happens? He got sloppy, went to the spin 2-3 times in a row. Barcelos took his back at the end of the second round, took him down in the third round, got a ton of control time. If he makes any mistakes on the mat against a 4th degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in Hani Barcelos, he's going to be in a whole heap of trouble. I even think if Hani chooses to wrestle here, he could easily win this fight, but we can't count on Hani to wrestle, which is really a shame because, my God, he's a great wrestler. He's a great submission grappler. I just like getting Barcelos against anybody outside the top 5 at plus 180. I think it's a move where you're going to be in that bet for the 3 rounds.
Yep, I like it. I mean, I've been tempted on Barcelos all week. Ended up passing because I do think he is on a decline, but if we get a good version of Barcelos, this is such a winnable fight. So we'll definitely see here. Blow saying love it already. Got the plus 1600 on the sub. There you go.
That's nasty. I love that line.
That is very dirty. Barcelos is tough as F. Yes, he is. He typically is, but he did get starched in his last fight. So I'm not sure what happened there. 7,200. That's kind of where I'm gonna get my exposure for Barcelos this week is on DraftKings. 7,200, I think, is kind of a ridiculous price tag there. But what we're going to do now is those were the prelims. We have 460 of you in here. If you all can, please smash the like button. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes by the time we get out of here. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Go live every Saturday for some best bet. And then lastly, go check out my guest, Uncle Weezy and Narco Cop. Their links to their YouTubes are down in the description. And also Narco does do some spaces on Twitter as well, the live betting, which I think this is we haven't really talked about, but I think this is a great live betting card as well. So we're going to do a quick recap of the prelims here. Make sure we got everything correct and just do a recap on this one. So we'll start with Uncle Weezy. He has taken Asu Amabaya money line minus 190, Sean Woodson money line minus 175. He is passing on the Jake Hadley fight. He has taken the Corralillo Jackson fight, doesn't go with the decision, minus 180. He's taken the Harris Wells under 1.5 rounds, plus 115. And he's taken Hayani Barcelos money line plus 175. Weezy, does all that look correct to you?
Yeah, that looks correct to me.
All right. And then Narco, you are taking Asu Amabayev sub rounds 2 or 3 plus 650. Passing on the Sean Woodson fight, taking Jake Hadley inside the distance at plus 120. You're taking the Corralillo Jackson over 1.5 rounds minus 160. You're taking the Harris Wells under 1.5 rounds plus 115. And then you're passing on the Kyler Phillips fight. Does all that look correct, Narco?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Narco has used up both of his passes. Weezy, you still have one pass to use on this main card. What is up, MMA Jesus? I see you in there. Weezy sounds 20 years younger. Wow. There you go, Weezy.
I'll take it, man. I mean, even if I sound 30 years older, if it's like Morgan Freeman, I'll take that as well, man. I mean, that dude makes bank just talking and shit. And I would love for people to pay me to talk because I do it enough for free already.
Heck yeah, that is good stuff, man. But let's kick it off to the main card opener, which is going to be Ignacio Bahamondes going against Ludovic Klein. And yeah, it looks like Bahamondes is a pretty popular parlay piece this week, taking some money. He was sitting around minus 190 currently. At this point, sitting at plus 2 or minus 235. Ludovic Klein is currently sitting at plus 200. So pretty big favorite here in Bahamondes. We'll kick it to you, Narco Cop. Did you find any way to bet this fight?
Yeah, I actually have I guess it's a sneaky take. I don't know, but I like Bahamondes via submission here. Plus 850. You can get that on Bet Rivers Unibet. It's currently there. Here's the thing. When I watch Ludovic Klein, he sticks his head in wrong places when he's grappling, right? And the fights that he's grappled in have been the two guys that pressure a lot. Nate Landwehr, Michael Trezano. Both those guys come forward and pressure. And Ignacio Bahamondes is literally a clone of those guys when it comes to pressure. He's going to pressure forward. He's going to throw a lot of kicks, throw his hands. He's a longer guy, similar to Trezano, and he's going to make Ludovic Klein kind of uncomfortable. Ludovic Klein needs to get into the pocket here in order to throw his big shots, and he's going to feel uncomfortable here. And I feel like he's going to shoot. And the one thing I noticed is he's like Trezano almost got him with one, right? Nate Landwehr actually got him twice. He got out of it the first time, didn't get out of it the second time. And Ignacio Bahamondes used those same things against Zhu Rong when Zhu Rong was getting pressured and he decided to shoot, and he got him the second time. So I honestly believe he's going to sub him with like a Darce Anaconda type of choke, maybe even a guillotine. But Bahamondes submission plus 850 for me.
All right, Bahamondes sub plus 850. I'm right there with you. I think the sub is very, very live in the spot. I did bet just the fight to end by sub in general. I got it at plus 450. It's like plus 490 though on FanDuel I saw. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very live there. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, Valley Flow Striking, Chicago, Illinois, stand up. That's where Ignacio Bahamondes trains some really good fighters over there, a really underrated camp. I'm going with Ignacio to get it done inside the distance, plus 200 here. I think he could get a knockout. I think he could get a step-in knee, big elbow. Like Narco said, we've seen Ludovic Klein finished in 3 of his 4 professional losses. So, and pressure is always key. Pressure, is something that really breaks people sometimes. And we've seen Klein break under pressure, specifically in that Landwehr fight. I think that this is going to be a very similar matchup. I could see a submission. I could see a knockout. And to get a guy who's like now almost minus 250, to get him at plus 200 inside the distance, I think it's a pretty good look. I think that's where I'm going to get aggressive here and go with that Ignacio Bahamondes inside the distance.
Yeah, that one actually stuck out to me as well. I think it's a solid line. I think he's going to have plenty of finishing opportunities. Like, Klein leaves a lot of openings on the feet. He's very hittable. I think on paper it's like a 49% strike and defense, and Bahamondes has some nasty tools on the feet there. So, yeah, I think a finish could very well be in play. Sean V disagrees. PSSA saying the Bahamondes sub 2 round 3 props when Klein makes mistakes. Please, you guys seen a couple people on those. Blues fan, $5 don't appreciate you saying, going back to Almabayev, are you guys concerned about the level of competition? Beat 40-year-old Makovsky in split. Hard to gauge just from that. I'll answer first. Not really. I'm not going crazy on Almabayev this week. I bet him to win this fight inside the distance, and I bet the fight ends by sub, but I don't really have too much concern. I'm not impressed with Ode's wins. Like, he beat Charles Johnson, he beat Jerome Rivera, and then he beat someone else. So I don't know. This guy looks legit to me, but this is going to be a decent test, I'd say. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, it's stylistically, I like it for Almabayev because of the wrestling, but I want to hear what Narco Cop has to say.
So I know this same question has been brought up to me. Like, this guy went to split against, a 39-year-old fighter in Makovsky. But the thing is, Makovsky is such an elite wrestler, like really, really, really good wrestler. So it kind of canceled what Almabayev does best in his wrestling. It's a completely different matchup. I would say to who's asking that, I would say just throw that fight out, man. It's a completely different stylistic matchup. And Makovsky is, if you look at him historically, this guy's gone. He was in the UFC, got UFC wins, and went the distance against really, really high-level UFC fighters. Like, this guy has legit wrestling. So throw that one out. I wouldn't even consider that, honestly, in my capping.
Yeah, Weezy, did you have anything to add? Or
No, man, I'm good with that. Like I said, it's stylistically, what we saw from Ode in that Brian Kelleher fight was very, very disturbing. If you're on the Ode Osborne side and you haven't watched the Kelleher fight, you're going to probably be surprised if Asu takes that path and has success.
Yeah, we got our guy Patrick in the building. What is up, gentlemen? What is up, Patrick? Ignacio did not look good in his fight. I disagree. I thought Trey Ogden didn't look good. I think Ogden didn't even show up the last fight. So Bahamondes did what he needed to do. I think he won 30-27 against the guy. Gremlin likes the sub prop there. Yeah, plus 850. It could be worth a shot. All right, guys. So let's move on to the next fight. We have the worst fight on the card. We have Tanner Boser going against Alexa Kamer. We have Tanner Boser minus 138. And we got Alexa Kamer plus 118. Weezy, we'll kick it to you. What are you liking on this banger of a fight?
I think he's frozen. He's frozen.
Oh, I thought he was just staring at me. I guess we'll kick it to you, Narco. What do you like for this fight?
He's actually staring at the mic. He's in love with how he sounds now, and he's just frozen up. You know what? Something stuck out to me in this fight pretty big, and I think the books are kind of on it. I guess they know what's going on here. Look at Brady. Look at the over 1.5. What is it set at?
It's like minus
285, right?
Yeah.
It's very high, right? Look at the under 2.5 though.
Like plus 120.
It's pretty short for over to be minus 285. That's pretty short for a under 2.5. So basically what they're kind of saying is, and I felt the same way, is Alexa Kamer is going to probably gas here. He's the one that's kind of, been out of the ring for a while. He throws really big shots early. If he doesn't get Boser out of there early, I think he's kind of in trouble here later. So I like Boser 2-3 KO here. I think he's there to be knocked out, honestly, in round 1 against Kamer, because Kamer hits very hard. And but 2-3 KO on FanDuel 700. The one thing I will say is Boser hadn't been knocked out at heavyweight, and he dropped to 205 for the first time in his career, and he gets knocked out. I know it's kind of a weird stoppage, but he got dropped pretty bad, and he's shown a really good chin historically. I don't know if the weight cut is bothering his chin, to be honest. That's the one caveat I could say about this fight that kind of stuck out.
Yeah, and plus 700. Tanner Boser KO 2-3. Wheezy, what do you like for this fight?
Nothing. I'm passing on this one, man. I don't know if I like Tanner Boser at 205, and I don't know, with Kamer on a 2.5-year layoff. This is the exact type of fight I just love to pass on. A little bit of missing information on both fighters, so I'm just staying away.
Yeah, I'm passing as well, but yeah, Narco brings up those finish numbers on really both sides are kind of crazy for a light heavyweight fight. Like we don't typically see numbers like that. Let's see here. This is eat your Grubhub match. I mean, potentially. Let's see here. Could see a Boser KO. Could see a Kamer KO. Boser has pink toenails, does he? Did he show up with the pink toenails this week, or I didn't see? Some fighters, I know Barberena does, something like stuff like that. Jared Van Deren, yeah.
You want to hear something funny? Go listen to Boser's recent interview. It is fucking hilarious. He motherfucks all his sponsors at the end.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Did you see it? Okay, all right. Yes, it's fucking great. I mean, he's like, fuck you. I'm like, what is going on here?
Oh, yeah. He sounded very angry. Very angry. So we'll see if he takes that anger out on Alexa Kamer in a couple hours here. Fight to end by knockout plus 120 bias bets. Boser's great on the mic, apparently. You guys don't watch interviews. That's a lie, Vulcan. We all clearly watch interviews. And he's saying Kamer says he feels in the prime of his life. Well, we're gonna have to see. But we can move on to, that's a weird comment. Whoops, 52 as well. But we can move on to the next fight. We have Diego Lopez going against Gavin Tucker. Weird fight. We got Diego Lopez minus 160. We got Gavin Tucker plus 140. A lot of love for Gavin Tucker. And, I can understand it in a way. Like, this guy should be able to win some minutes. But my goodness, Diego Lopez, this guy's a killer. 27 years old. Going to be dangerous wherever the fight goes. Lots of red flags on the Tucker side. So I kind of lean the Lopez side. Curious to hear your thoughts on this one. We'll kick it to you first, Narco. What do you like in here?
I like Lopez. Minus 160. Line keeps coming down, apparently. I'm looking now, and I just clicked it, and yeah, people seem to be betting the other side, and I like Lopez here, minus 160. I just think the long layoff, the rust, the age, and honestly, I don't like recency bias. I go against recency bias, and I think part of this line was recency bias, but when I go back and watch Lopez's fight before Evloev, I'm kind of impressed with what I see, to be honest. I think he's improved his striking. I think his jiu-jitsu is extremely, extremely dangerous against anybody he fights. And I think the length, the size, there's a pretty decent size advantage here. And I just feel like Lopez is pace, pressure, everything is going to eventually break Gavin Tucker. So, I like the Lopez money line at minus 160 here.
All right, taking Lopez money line minus 160. Wheezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
Man, if I had a pass left, I'd be passing. I just hate this fight from a gambling perspective for the same reasons I hate the Boser fight because of Kamer's layoff. I just feel like I'm missing information on what Gavin Tucker is going to look like here. But I'm going with the over 2.5 rounds at plus 108. On SX bet, whatever the hell that is. My analytics like it. With Lopez, I don't think I have to worry about Lopez knocking out Tucker on the feet. People are worried about Tucker's chin because he got chinned by Ige. Ige hits about as hard as anybody in the division. Even the Korean Zombie said after his Ige fight, he's like, I've never been hit that hard in my life. That guy hits as hard as anybody I've ever fought. So I don't think Tucker's going to get submitted. I don't think he's going to get knocked out, and he's not really a finisher either. So I'm hoping it cruises over. Like I said, if I could pass on this one, I'd pass on this one too. But yeah, plus 105 over 2.5 rounds is what I'm going with.
All right, taking the over there, a sweaty one it might be, but yeah, we'll see if Tucker's durability can hold up. I see a Lopez early stoppage. Moy's liking the Lopez KO1 plus 1,000. Yeah, I think it could be on the table. If Gavin Tucker shows up looking pretty bad, we'll see. Gavin Tucker going on a downward slope like Ferguson. I don't know if it's that bad, but I like Lopez. Tucker was crying at weigh-ins. Why was he crying? Was he really? I don't know why. Maybe a tough cut. Tucker, good chance to look good here and win by sub or decision. We shall see. Lopez round 1 is a good call. Yeah, we'll see. It should be a very, very exciting fight. We'll move on to Wheezy's main event. We have Kennedy and Nzechukwu going against Dustin Jacoby. This line really hasn't moved much throughout the week. Kind of sat at around minus 155, minus 160. Currently, Kennedy is sitting at minus 157. Dustin Jacoby sitting at plus 137. Let's kick it to you, Wheezy. I know you have a lot of thoughts on this fight here.
Yeah, I max bet the Kennedy money line earlier in the week. Got it at minus 155. I also parlayed him with Billy Quarantillo's money line earlier in the week when Kennedy was at minus 140. Yeah, I mean, I what I saw on tape from Kennedy that really made me want to pull the trigger here was the lack of hesitation. You know, the pressure on the feet. I think he's better in the clinch. I think he's better on the ground. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage. He's a couple inches taller. He's 5 years younger. I think he's got a lot more power than Dustin does on the feet as well. And you know what really is scary about this guy right now is the fact that he throws knees up the middle like uppercuts. That's how easily they're getting to his opponent's chins. These guys that are over 6 feet. He just steps in with that knee and it comes right up the middle. And it's really hard to defend. And now that he's landing those knees and elbows in the clinch, the fact that this dude doesn't get tired either, I really think he's going to mow through this dude. I think Dustin Jacoby's going to run into a dick saw. I got a money line bet 5 units on Nzechukwu here, and that's going to be my best bet for the week.
There we go. Looks like best line right now is minus 155.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, Kennedy money line minus 155 for Uncle Wheezy. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
We kind of discussed this fight before we got on air. I think it's a close fight, honestly. I lean split decision here, plus 550 on DraftKings. It's just the thing is we kind of discussed the bigger cage. You know, the fact that Jacoby has better footwork than Kennedy. The fact that Kennedy doesn't really proactively grapple. He's kind of a slower plotting type of guy where Dustin is a little bit more nimble on his feet. And if it becomes a 15-minute kickboxing match, with some clinching, I just feel like it's a close fight. Jacoby's been hurt, but he's shown good recovery, to be honest, overall. Kennedy has been hurt last couple of times. I don't think Jacoby's going to do anything like as far as knocking him out or anything, but feel like it's just a very close matchup. I was close to playing Jacoby on the money line, but I don't trust his IQ. You go back and watch Mirzakhanov fight, and the only way you can win that fight now in the 3rd round is to try to get a KO. He's clearly hurting Mirzakhanov on the feet. Mirzakhanov is dead tired. And what do? The absolute worst thing you can possibly do, go for a takedown. Like, Jacoby, you're not a grappler, my friend. You don't know how to fucking even put in a submission. Why the hell are you going for a takedown? And that's fight IQ. I mean, you got the guy hurt, reeling, and you go for a takedown. It's terrible fight IQ, in my opinion. So I said to myself, 2023, I'm not betting on guys with bad fight IQ. And if I didn't think he had bad fight IQ, I'd probably play him here. But, yeah, split decision here is where I'm going to go.
All right, you said 550, right?
Plus 550 on DraftKings, yeah.
Got you. And then Weezy taking the money line. Yeah, I mean, I had a bet on Jacoby against Mirzakhanov, and that fight took several years off my life. So we'll see what happens with this one. Rooting for you, Uncle Weezy. I only have 0.25 units invested in this Kennedy fight. You have 6 units invested in it?
6 units, man. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you guys. If anybody out there is in the Chicagoland area, you see Kennedy lose, hit up your Uncle Weezy. I might need a couch to crash on for a couple of weeks.
No, he's gonna get it done for you, Uncle Weezy. Let's get it. All right, let's move on to the co-main event. We have Jessica Andrade going against Tatiana Suarez. We got Tatiana Suarez currently sitting -350. We got Jessica Andrade currently sitting at +285. We'll start with you, Uncle Weezy. What are you liking for this co-main event here?
Oh, what did I go with? Oh, yeah, the under 2.5 rounds at -200. I kind of feel like that's the best way to look at this fight. Andrade could get a knockout. Tatiana could get a knockout or a submission with her ground positioning. These ladies are both really good, and we're just going to have to see, because we still don't know everything we need to know about Tatiana Suarez. We're talking about a woman who's got about 9 pro fights in about 8 years. So, we do have a lot to learn about her still, and she's fighting Jessica Andrade. So, tread lightly if you're trying to parlay Tatiana Suarez up here, but I'm just going with that under 2.5. Feels like a really safe bet here.
A haircut you can set your watch to. Weezy, you said this, did you?
Oh, I've said that about Jessica Andrade for years. She always has had a haircut that you could absolutely rely on. It's like a Swiss watch. It's always there. It's always looking crisp, always looking like she's fresh out of the barber's chair. Jessica Andrade is a true professional, not just in fighting, but in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of Jessica Andrade, and that's kind of why I'm sad that this matchup is taking place today. But Narco, anything sticking out to you for this one here?
I'm going to be a square. Suarez via submission +128. I don't know. Like, I just don't like what I see from Andrade when she gets taken down. The way she gives up her back is just not very good. And going up against a girl like Tatiana Suarez, where she will absolutely equalize on something that you mess up like that on the ground. +128 is out there. I think on a -360, -400, I think that's her favorite path. Kowizi said ground and pound. I guess I could see that a little. Andrade is very tough. I don't know, maybe she'll just give up her neck, and I'm pretty sure Suarez will oblige with a rear naked choke or something, but I don't know. +128 on a -400, and that's really how she gets all her fights finished. I'm going to take a shot there.
Yep, I think that's the most likely scenario here. Blumdonk saying Tatiana wins at a 90% clip at this point in their careers. I don't know about 90%. We got to put a little bit of respect on the Jessica Andrade, but I think it's a great matchup for Tatiana Suarez here. Suarez in the first or second round +115. That's kind of a ridiculous line. Is that a real thing? Suarez round 1, round 2 +115.
Really?
I think it is a thing, because her submission prop for 1-2 is like 150 or 160. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Crap. You got to think if she gets it done, it's probably round 1 or round 2. I like that a lot. I wish I would have took a look at that. Nate Diaz by submission, wrong sport, man. Wrong sport. You never know.
Can you get a submission in boxing? You ever do that, Narco Cop? I know that you're a boxing expert here.
You can do whatever you want if you're Nate Diaz. I could see him like getting hurt on the feet and just go for a takedown. It would be classic.
Lock up a ninja choke and just don't let the referee break the grip.
Let's be honest. If there's a motherfucker that doesn't care about the whole world, it's Nate Diaz. And he gets rocked. He's like, fuck this. I'm just going to take this fucker down and choke him. I can honestly see that happening in a boxing fight with this guy.
It could happen.
Oh, that would be funny.
All right, guys, it is time to move on to the main event. If you guys have not already, smash the like button, subscribe here to the channel, subscribe to these guys, link in the description. And I'm really looking forward to this main event. We have Cory Sandhagen going against Rob Font. We'll start with you, Narco. We have Sandhagen now sitting at -370 and Rob Font +305. I remember like a week ago, like Sandhagen was like -205 for a second. So yeah, money's been pouring in on Sandhagen the last week. Narco, what do you like for this main event here?
I really like the Sandhagen side here. I looking at both of their fights, recently, Rob Font, I don't want to say looked great last fight against Yanez, honestly, because he was getting clipped a lot. And you saw his orbitals swell up again. He got the knockout and he took the shots better than I thought he would. But Sandhagen is much cleaner at everything he does than Yanez. So, like, he's a good grappler. He's a very, very good fight IQ. He's not going to just stand there and let you hit him. He's got very good cardio. He's got very, very good kicks. When I look at this fight, I say to myself, Marlon Vera, doesn't have the skills that Sandhagen has, right? But he has very similar kicking skills. And he wasn't handling them well. Font wasn't. And I just kind of see kind of a similar matchup, but way more outmatched here because of the boxing as well. Because Sandhagen has very good boxing, has also the grappling that Marlon Vera didn't have. So it's like I try to wrap my head around in how Font wins, and I find trouble here, man. I think he's taken a lot of damage. People are still overlooking how much damage this guy has taken. Yes, he took a couple of shots from Yanez and didn't go down, but he was clearly getting hurt. His eye swelled up like fucking crazy. And over 5 rounds, Cory Sandhagen can absolutely put a molly-whopping on you. And we saw it against Vera. So I honestly think he breaks him here. I don't know when. That's the thing. I don't know what round. I'm just going to go fight doesn't go here. Or what is Sandhagen ITD? I might go with that instead.
Right now, Bovada has it at plus 130, I believe.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with Sandhagen ITD. I think he finishes here. I just don't know when. I kind of feel like it's round 3, 4, 5. But I mean, it could be a club and sub for all I know. So yeah, give me Cory Sandhagen ITD.
Okay, Sandhagen inside the distance plus 130 for Narco. Weezy, what are you liking for the main event?
Yeah, that's what I have written down. I only saw plus 110 when I wrote this down about an hour ago. But yeah, I mean, the short notice bothers me here. This is a 5-round fight. You want to be training for a 5-round fight, especially against a guy like Sandhagen. The only thing that worries me about the Sandhagen side is that he was training for a completely different fight. I mean, if there are 2 polar opposite fighters, it's Rob Font and Umar Nurmagomedov. So I wonder, how much the training camp had to change, how big of a burden that was on Sandhagen to get that different of an opponent just 3 weeks out from the fight. But I still do think that he probably gets it done inside the distance here. He'll find a big shot and maybe get some ground and pound, maybe get a submission. But I do like him to win this one inside the distance.
Yep, and I just double-checked Bovada. That Sandhagen inside the distance is still there at plus 130.
Wow.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a quick recap of all the bets for this week, and then we're going to give our best bet of the card. If you hit your best bet for the card, your profit's going to double. So, for example, say Narco says his best bet is Jake Hadley inside the distance. Not only is he going to get 1.2 units, but it's going to double to 2.4. Last week, my best bet was nothing crazy, but I had the fight to end by knockout in the main event and was able to double the profit there. So we're going to kick it to you first, Uncle Weezy. To kick off the night, you're taking Asu Amabayev money line minus 190. You're taking Sean Woodson money line minus 175. You're passing on the Jake Hadley fight. You're taking the Corralillo fight, not going the distance, minus 180. You're taking the Wells Harris under 1.5 rounds, plus 115. Barcelos money line, plus 175. Bahamonas inside the distance, plus 200. Passing on the Bozer fight, you're taking Diego Lopez over 2.5 rounds, plus 105. You're taking the Kennedy money line, minus 155. You're taking the Suarez Andrej under 2.5, minus 200. And then you're ending the night with Sandhagen inside the distance, plus 130. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the entire card?
Yeah, that's all correct. And I mean, if I'm putting 6 units on Kennedy and Chekwu, then yeah, that's the best bet of the night. It's not a big, it's a conservative, because I'm laying juice there. But yeah, I'm just trying to get plus today, start to creep back into these standings because I know the last couple have been pretty bad for me on best bet. So looking to get to the plus side here.
There we go. Taking Kennedy for the best bet there. Let's go over to Narco. Narco, you're taking. Yep.
You don't have to read them all. They're correct. I mean, if you want to, if that's how you want to do it, go ahead. No, I want to save you the time of reading them all.
No, we have about a minute left anyway, so that works out. So they're all correct. And what's your best bet?
I was trying to shoot for the moon, but I'm not. I'm gonna go Jake Hadley ITD plus 120. I think he gets it done. I think he finishes here at a very high clip, and I think it comes later, probably round 2, round 3.
So you're going with what I used for the example. I like it. I like it. Maybe it's a sign. It's a sign.
That was a sign, Brady.
It could be. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. Hey, we got 100 likes, which is always a great goal. We got that last week as well for best bet. So appreciate you all hanging out. Gonna kick it around real quick. Narco, let the people know where they can find you and what you got going on. You have a Spaces coming up in about an hour, right?
Yeah, Spaces on Twitter, live Spaces. We do live betting, stuff like that. Really interactive. A lot of fucking people in there. So if you're bored and not doing anything, you can hop in the Twitter Spaces. Narco Cop on Twitter. My YouTube channel, Narco Cop _MMA. Also do a show every Friday with Timothy Troiano. It's called the Lambeau Place Podcast, where we give long shot props. Yeah, I think that's about it. Not much else going on. I'm also doing every Thursday. I'm doing an AMA. Basically, ask me anything about the upcoming card. So it's been going well as well. So thanks for having me, Brady. Good luck to you guys, and good luck to everybody in chat.
For sure. Thank you for coming on, Narco. Always a pleasure having you on. We got Uncle Weezy. Let the people know where they can find you in your plans for some content. I'm looking forward to some stat diggers next week or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Actually.
Stat diggers on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday. The DFS show on Pub Sports Radio every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. And I'm going to be on with Boston Nick and the boys doing the watch along for these fights on Pub Sports Radio. You can find me and my dulcet tones on my new working mic here on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. And yeah, I appreciate all you guys tuning in today. Let's all stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Nashville. I'm really looking forward to these fights. Go Kennedy and Checkwu. Bring home the bag for your Uncle Weezy tonight.
Yes, sir. And by the way, shout out to Boston Nick. The boys are going to be going live over there on Pub Sports Radio in about 55 minutes as well. If you want to check them out. Weezy, you heading over there as well, you said?
Yes, I am. And you can always check out on pubsportsradio.com the UFC contest. They're trying to get as many people enrolled in this. If you get the highest score, you get $100 from the boss of Pub Sports Radio, Jeff Slaughter. So check that out. That's a really good competition. I got my picks loaded and ready to go this week.
Heck yeah, I still got to get mine in, but I have time to do so. But yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC Nashville and enjoy the fights. We'll see you later.